tonight?
Look, I just think on the experience angle, I think Manly tonight, they're going to know what to do at the critical time.
Trenny?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to saying the wife's got me in a bit of a maroony tie, and she said the Seagulls are going to win, so I'm backing them.
And here we go again. Doing what is the best thing you can do in rugby league. 4 fabulous weekends. And, of course, starting with the Blue and Whites of Canterbury, the minor premiers in this dream match, a promoter's dream, up against the defending premiers Manly. Manly dominating rugby league in the 70s, Canterbury in the 80s. Twice they've played this year, and the scoreboard reads 1 apiece. Although when Canterbury beat Manly at Brookvale, Brett Stewart, the Eagles and Origin fullback, didn't play. There's so many individual matchups. There is so much to talk about. The Dogs, minor premiers not only in first grade, but in all 3 grades, an achievement not performed since Canberra in 1990, 22 years ago. When they co-dominated the 80s, Canterbury, they kick-started with a team called the Entertainers. You remember them? Steve Gearin and Greg Brentnell and company and Turvey Mortimer. So what do we call this side, even if they don't win the grand final? And some last-minute whiteboard instructions from Coach Des Hasler. He features as a coach who will become the first in rugby league history to go from one club to another and win the grand final if he can do it with Canterbury.
I was very surprised, Ray, with such high-profile clubs have only met 3 times in finals. The last one back in '95 in the decider. Well, it's on again between them tonight.
Cherry Evans, a poster or a banner in amongst the crowd, which is about 30,000, 35,000. He plays his 52nd game tonight, Daly Cherry Evans, and he hasn't missed a game. Matt Ballin's playing his 130th game, and he hasn't missed a game in the last 130, I should say. So the Maroon and Whites, hoping that they can defend their title, led out by Jamie Lyon. What a magnificent season he's had. I was just talking to Laurie Daly, the New South Wales coach. Wouldn't he love to be able to get him to reverse his thoughts? I mentioned that Brett did not play in that match when Canterbury got them. His rival tonight with Ben Barber is only one of the matchups. Stewart, 500 points from 125 tries in 156 games as Michael Ennis, the young captain of the Dogs, takes them out before the Blue and White Army on very much their home soil. And of course the young man at the back of the Canterbury Bulldogs. As I said, they called them the Entertainers in 1980. What are we going to call this team? Ben Barber. You saw it on Tuesday night. He won everything bar the Davis Cup. He took home every prize. 21 tries this year Canterbury has scored. 7 of them Barber has scored from his own side of halfway. 34 tries from 37 appearances here at ANZ. The magical month of September. And here we go. The finals are underway. It's a deep kick off from Canterbury down to Stewart. And he sends Jason King back, who missed the grand final, of course, through injury, one of the co-captains last year. Watmo then running it straight at Michael Ennis. And he'll play the ball inside the 20-metre line. Play back to Ballard, and it's gone to Brent Kite. He runs on the edge of the ruck, and he's met there by a posse of Canterbury Bulldogs. Again, Ballard sweeps it left side, and Foran goes forward and asks a question of his opposite number, Reynolds. There again is an interesting matchup where everybody was saying, will Foran come to Canterbury with Des? And then Des finds a fellow called Josh Reynolds. And I don't know that he wants to swap in for anybody. The kick from Cherry Evans bounces back over the head of Barber. And they've got the clamps on him, Manly. They're walking him back towards the in goal. But Barber finds the line. He finds the turf before the line. Knock on. Knock on. First advantage goes to Manly.
Well, that's as good a set of 6 as you'll see to open a big clash like this. And where there's plenty of rivalry between these two teams, the Manly forwards just dominated that first minute of play to the point where they could kick down, get Barber on his own, and watch this, they pick him up, push him back all the way to Concord, and the little fella gets up with a bobble and loses the ball.
That was a power set. And Kieran Foran involved too in hitting the ball one out. Lovely kick from Cherry Evans to find space.
Stand up. Just right there. Listen, boy. Hey, Jason, nothing silly, right? Just put your head in and we get out. Right in.
Open side props.
Out.
Earning a bit of rough from the referee as Cherry Evans goes to the blind side. And
Lost it
the ball, but he lost it backwards, and Matai is with the ball. Manly have scored 6 tries this year from set plays from the scrum. Watmo is with it now. He gets a ball away. It bounces. Ballon goes back and cleans it up. 12 metres out from the Canterbury line. A test early for the Canterbury on-line defence. And Brent Kite takes it to the middle of the ground. That's how close he is. For Ballon again to go behind King and go to Cherry Evans and pick up Stewart, and it goes on, and it's put down there by the 5 for Manly. Faray. Defence good from Canterbury. Yep. Attack was slick from Manly.
It looked to be unfolding, didn't it? This was early in the tackle count. Well, the ball must have been ruled to have been raked out by the Canterbury Bulldogs. And Josh Morris does a great job here. He goes in behind his winger, Sam Perrott, and he's able to take Dean Faray. Nice work, nice combination and understanding between the outside centre and the winger. I'm going back to old days there, Rabs, outside centre. Should be saying left centre.
Don't change, please don't change. It's Greg Eastwood. I remember it used to be a tackle and not a hit. Now he's lost the ball, Eastwood. Well, Manly have got another advantage coming their way.
Yeah, and you watch out.
It's 3 times out of the fucking hand in the ruck.
No, not at all. You need to relax, all right? I'll relax the ball.
Michael Ennis complaining to Ashley Klein, saying that's 3 times they've had a hand in the ruck. And there is a hand on the ball, and the tackle's been made. I've got to tell you that Michael Ennis has made a strong point, and that replay proves exactly what he was talking about. I'm not saying 3 times, but certainly there and then. You can't have a hand on the ball after the tackle's been made. Klein recalls it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Manly, as I said earlier, potent from scrums this far out. Lock forward, Glenn Stewart is with the ball. And Emerson Tolman it is that puts him down. Ballon then to Foran, and he goes to Big Williams, and Williams, Canterbury bound next year, plays the ball, and it comes back from Ballon to Foran. King again a decoy. Cherry Evans turns it in. Glenn Stewart is with the ball, and Stewart to play it. 9 metres out, tackled by Cassiano, as it comes now for Watmo, and Watmo gets it to within a couple of metres. Well, this is a real test for Canterbury. They're inside the 10, Manly, and Foran cuts one out. Stewart's pass behind Tafua, and they lost a bit of impetus there. George Tafua plays the ball. Now comes to the boot of Foran. It's nicely placed down towards a bat down from Lyon, and then another bat down that came off Manly hands. Play on for Canterbury, so they're off the hook. They can breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, they can breathe when they get the ball to the other end, Rabbits, because they've had 2 goes at getting out of trouble and fumbled at both times. But that's outstanding defence to start the game.
Jackson. 3 tries in last weekend's game. One of the real finds of the year. Tolman, I told you, playing his 100th tonight. Now for Eastwood. Greg Eastwood, one of the overseas internationals in the Canterbury side. There's a kick from Josh Reynolds that he's had a bit of pressure put on it, and he didn't get it away the way he wanted to, and it's with Faray now.
Well, after that strong first set from Manly, it's been a crazy start all over the place this game. Maybe some nerves out there. Missed kick there from Josh Reynolds. Plenty of errors early on, as Tafua does well out of dummy half to get it outside his own 40.
Ballon then looks for his forward runner and finds Jason King, and one of the few Manly juniors in the team. Jason King plays the ball in the middle of the ground. Watmo to do a bit of stepping and then lost his footing. It's come away for Cherry Evans, and he puts a torpedo punch screwing down towards Barber and Perrott. And just for a moment I thought there was total lack of communication.
Well, the bomb was perfectly placed. Came down between winger and fullback. They were looking at each other. In the end, the experienced Perrott said mine. Come up with a great grab.
Jonathan Wright then. Sam Frank Pritchard, I beg your pardon. Now to Reynolds, now to Barber. Now it's out to Inu, the point-scoring machine from the Warriors. Plays the ball, getting close to halfway. They haven't seen the halfway line since the start of the game. Tolman has put down right smack bang on it in the middle of the ground. To Keating, and across the face it comes, and it goes to Pritchard and goes to Morris. Morris accelerates around. Morris gets it back on the inside. Jonathan Wright's on his way. Canterbury's on their way. 4 points on the board to the blue and white Bulldogs.
Good. And Josh Morris, enjoying a bumper season, showed blinding speed. Now defensively they were just caught all out here, the Manly right side defence. And don't forget Jamie Lyon is part of that. Coming across, Josh Morris accelerates. Lyon tries to push him. Bad defence there from Dean Farray, backing back and giving space to the ball runner. And Jonathan Wright takes it around. 4 will be 6.
And their left side defence ranked as number 2 in attack for the year. Is there any wonder watching what they just did there? Now, Krishnan Inu, averaging 10 points a game since he came across from the Warriors, converts the try. Andrew Johns is on sideline tonight.
Yeah, there he is on screen. This is what speed does to defences, makes them nervous. Instead of they get the ball here on the edge of the ruck, there's not much doing on the Kuno replay. Look, there's 3 defenders there, but just the speed of Morris gets him in the clear. Once he put the afterburners on, just the speed and power of this man. If you have a look at him from front on, he's not a small man, 98 kilos, but look at the speed and the balance. Great play.
Cherry Evans then with a deep restart down to Keating, and here coming on the burst is Cassiano.
Well, you could see from that replay Dean Farray backing back, but he wasn't going towards the sideline at all. If he went back and sideways, then Morris wouldn't have had room to get through.
Canterbury then first blood. That pass from Ennis away to Eastwood was forward. And is out from the line. Played by George Tafua. Maddo's pass not good. Foran goes short. Williams with the ball. He loses the ball. Eastwood has got the ball for Canterbury. And again, Manly have had 3 golden opportunities. I know it's early in the game and everybody's with a full tank of petrol. 3 opportunities they've been basically given by Canterbury. And now Inu is injured for Canterbury.
Yeah, we might have a little problem here, although he's now thinking better of it and getting to his feet. So we won't see a replay. And Tony Williams was rather aggressive in the way he threw him to the ground.
Here's Barber from inside his 20, linking up with Josh Morris, and he's taken just outside the 30-metre line. Again, Barber a dummy half, and he unloads for Pritchard. Pritchard running to Watmo over on the edge of the ruck. Right on the 40-metre line. Play by Frank. He's gone away to Tolman. Tolman goes away deepish to Reynolds and back to Barber and on to Inu. Inu puts a kick through. Barber's leading the race. Who gets the bounce? Manly gets the bounce. Through to Fuller. Now for Foran. Foran is taken by Jackson and put down on the 30-metre line. Manly's end of the park. Here's Farray and almost sliding through the forwards. As it was, he made a 10-metre contribution. Ballon inside, Kite up the middle, and Cassiano makes the defence. Ballon again, Cherry Evans, line, Jamie, up towards 30, standing, looking, put down eventually by Keating, who defends wide on that left side for Canterbury. And here's Cherry Evans with a kick floating over towards Perrott, and up they go. Well, Tafua went up. I don't know what he was out after, but I'll tell you what, he's achieved what he set out to do. Perrott's knocked on. That missile-like charge from Tafua didn't help Perrott. He knocks on.
Just watch the courage of Sam Perrott here. I know he's knocked the ball on, but how he stands his ground so comfortably, even though he can feel Tafua running at him. Look, just stands comfortably. He knows if he catches, he's going to get belted. It's Tafua that comes over the top and misses it, and then Perrott is blinded. But I'm not sure that Tafua didn't touch that.
He came off the top of his leg, didn't it, into the Canterbury winger. It's a fortunate call for the Eagles.
Josh, get closer.
So Foran to Watmough, and Manly again with an opportunity. And here is Kite giving it back to Foran, and he's slammed onto the ground by Inu. Matai this time, and it goes back to Kite, and Kite runs at Ennis together with Eastwood. 3 out from the line. Ballon runs round Watmough. Lets King go. Goes to Cherry Evans, then Stewart, then Lyon, now Farray. And defence holds with Keating. Quick play the ball. Jamie Lyon, Cherry Evans, Jason King. King charges up towards the goal mouth. 5 gone for Manly. Ballon to Cherry Evans. He grab a kick and it's gone dead off Manly, I think. It'll be a 20-metre restart. Manly players were pointing to the uprights.
Great defence by the Bulldogs. They're not playing against slouches. I mean, Manly are deadly from inside the opposition 20, but the Bulldogs have turned them away time and time again.
Jackson taking the ball forward now. They've settled into their rhythm quite well, the Bulldogs, after that early start. Chris Keating run around now, cut out past the right.
Right it is, he lets Morris run towards the western touchline. He takes it back in ground and plays the ball back to Ennis. Here's Cassiano again. And taking it up to the 40-metre line, the big fellow held by 3 Manly defenders. And Ennis looking for Keating, and Keating drops it on his left foot and looks for the line, and Stewart is there on guard, back on his 10-metre line. And the Manly fullback is taken by the Canterbury captain. Faray's got the ball now, and Tolman and Eastwood, they put into ground.
He's been outstanding in defence, Michael Ennis, tonight, really leading the way. A couple of big tackles on Tony Williams, this man here, and Glenn Stewart at the other end of the field.
And so an ankle-tapping tackle stopped Williams that time from Jackson. This is Ballon. And Matt Ballon playing the ball on his own 40-metre line. And Foran sweeps it on to King, and King on to Williams. And he doesn't look, he passes, and it's picked up on the bounce by Tafua.
Wow. Wasn't that nonchalant?
That probably comes with the Tony Williams package. Here's Cherry Evans kicking. I saw a Canterbury player go down in back play. I'm not sure what happened.
Against Anthony Watmough.
Well, they're saying Anthony Watmough was knocked over Josh Reynolds, who was running through trying to put pressure on the kicker. Now I think Watmough has said to Reynolds, "You're acting." So there's a little bit of push and shove, and this is about where we thought this game would be at various stages.
Boys, Anthony, come on. Josh, you're seeing him.
A lot of rivalry out there, a lot of pent-up emotion between the two clubs and all these players.
Walk that way, keep going.
Now you watch Reynolds out of dummy half. They'll go for the second receiver. Watmough backs up and runs into him. It's only a soft touch, but he in fact got in his way and changed direction to do it. Now Watmough says something to Reynolds. Ennis is in there, wants his part of it. The next thing, that's all push and shove, and the troops are in.
Well, the rule book is on the side of Josh Reynolds, there's no doubt about that. So here's Canterbury with Tolman down the middle corridor, and he's picked up and put away, and a strong tackle by King. In fact, it was more than strong. It was a punishing tackle. And King has now earned the wrath of Canterbury.
Brent Walker pass. I think it might have been high. Hey, no, Jason. Walk away. Anthony.
Well, Jason King will be penalised here. Swinging arm on Tolman.
Jason.
First contact with the head.
All right. You have copped him high, so it's on report and a penalty. You've got blood, so I need you to go out the back as the first cut. I need you to get that fixed up. Just out the back there. Just a little bit. We'll fix you up.
I imagine the Dogs will be keen to take
Listen, Michael.
2 on offer here.
Hit you. Need to control all your guys. Okay, we don't need people coming in. All right?
We knew they were going to come with that, Ash.
All right, nice and calm.
You
all good now?
We knew they were going to come with that.
Penalty.
He's been everything, Ennis. He's the one in there pushing and shoving and...
Oh, no, tapping, playing on.
Canterbury turning down the opportunity for a couple.
We knew they were going to come with that, ref.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
That's the new Michael Ennis. He's practicing to be a diplomat, and here's Barber in from the back, float to the wave. Perra comes away from the sideline, and the tackle might be suspect from Steve Matai now.
Josh. Aiden. Stay here.
You're telling us to get control, but you blokes get control.
Well, stand by, folks. We'll resume normal service later. They're just sorting a few things out here, these players. They haven't had much football of late.
I want them over there, please. Get them right back.
There's plenty of sledging and talking and
My reaction was pretty bad.
threats and promises, all of which will have to be backed up at some stage. But before that happens, we've got a high tackle here that has to be adjudicated.
Stay here, boys.
And the referees will be waiting for some help.
High tackle. It's on report. And I need you two here.
Stay with this.
Listen, I understand it's a big game and all that, but we're here to play footy. I want you to get your teams to play the footy.
Mate, you're telling us to go and get control of our blokes.
Mate, and I've done it, Mick.
Yeah,
that's unfair.
Well,
2 penalty reports. Go back, get them to play footy.
Well, there's a swing out from Steve Matai,
Nice and calm, Jason.
from low to high. And he can't afford to step out of line at all, Steve Matai.
So Mattai's on report and Jason King on report, both within the space of 2 minutes. 6-0 the scoreboard in favour of the Bulldogs. A fiery start to the opening of the finals. And Tolman getting this ball from dummy half. Graham is on there. Now it's gone from Keating. Keating to Josh Morris. And you play the ball a couple of metres out from the line. Back to Jonathan Wright, on to Chris Keating, and now it's with Frank Pritchard. And Pritchard tried to dance away from Brent Kite and Jason King, but Glenn Stewart goes in and they tie him up. Pritchard playing it back to Ennis, and Ennis gets it away to Graham. Graham on to Reynolds. His pass was knocked down, picked up by Barber, but they're in close attendance on Barber. 6 more tackles is the order. And Barber plays it 22 metres out from the line. Dummy from Inu, and he goes up the blind side. He'll be made to play the ball about 9 metres out from the line. Played by Inu. Here's Jackson. And Jackson reversing up towards the try line. Down at the northern end of the ground. Ennis, Graham deep, Keating deep. Barber in, Morris stepping, good tackle, Jamie Lyon. Played to John Rock, now to Keating, short to Eastwood. And Eastwood is taken low by Watmo, and it's played back for Ennis, and Ennis goes for the line, he's over. No, referee says no.
He fell short of the line. And I'm
Short first, they're still holding you, you've promoted the ball.
Yeah, that was
I
it.
don't need to check it, I'm
There
right
was a
here.
Manly player still in contact with him when he went to ground. Might not have been that effective, but the very fact that he had a hand on him in Brent Kite means that he's not allowed to advance the football.
Will be penalty touch finder is a beauty.
That's a massive touch finder. Absolutely massive. Bit of leadership here from Jamie Lyon, just taking the tap and charging at them, firing his troops up.
Rockmo, Kite. Pulled down by Tolman. 40 away from the Canterbury line. Ballon sweeps it back to the short side for Cherry Evans. And Daly playing the ball. Just outside the 30-metre line. Ballon goes short into Rockmo. Rockmo with a carry up to the 20-metre line. Again taken by Tolman. Ballon, Foran, Williams out. Running at Josh Reynolds out in the centres, and he's lost it again.
Well, this is the second time that Big Tony Williams has done this, and I've been critical in the past of the fact this big man keeps getting the ball standing still. And what he wants to do is get it standing still, and then off a 2-yard run-up, just push people out of the way. Well, both times he's done it tonight, the ball's come loose on him. He's got to get back and charge onto it. He's not using his frame at all.
Okay, Mick, let's go.
Siano completing his first session.
Hold it, boys, hold it.
22 minutes into the game.
They've got a lot of confidence out of the opening minutes defensively this game, the Bulldogs. There were too many errors, but the fact that they remained intact on their own line puts them in good stead for the rest of this game as Coleman takes it forward, wrestle to the ground.
Frustrating for Manly at the same time up against this brick wall defence that Canterbury are displaying. Manly certainly not short of opportunities. They've bombed a few opportunities, but many of them have been repelled by this brick-like defence from Canterbury. Now, here's Ennis, and Ennis gets a kick out from dummy half. It's going down behind Faro. Back on his own line, and Morris in an onside position makes the tackle. Lyon for Cherry Evans back on their own line now. He goes across, and he's put one up the middle. It's Tafua. Tafua's outside the 30, outside the 40. Turn Barber around. Barber's going to catch him. Tafua, and Barber brings him down. 10 metres out from the line. Great run by George Tafua. Faro. Cherry Evans gets it back to Tafua, and he puts the head down 2 metres out from the line. Ballon. Cherry Evans. Little kick. It came off a Canterbury player, and one of his teammates has fallen on the ball. Ennis.
Yeah, a little rush of blood there from Daly Cherry Evans. He saw that there was no one behind the line, but it was still an individual play with his whole team lined out to the left, ready to receive.
Well, it couldn't be a worse sight for Manly and their fans. Jamie Lyon has left the field limping badly. Got a report from the sideline in a little while as James Graham takes the ball forward. Last tackle now.
A little rush of blood there from Daly Cherry Evans. That might well fall under that heading that I was talking about, frustration at being repelled, turned around by Canterbury on so many occasions.
Yeah, it looks as though he's grabbing a calf muscle there, Jamie Lyon, and that can be a long-termer. They're not nice when you tear those. That might be the end of his final series. One would hope not.
And the replacement player sent out there for Lyon is Jamie Buhrer, who appears to have slotted in at right centre. We've seen him play at the centres this season when called upon.
Play by Watmo then, and Ballon up the middle.
So it'll be Jamie Buhrer up against Josh Morris for the rest of the night.
Here's Evans, Cherry Evans with a kick high, and Barber's got the goalpost to contend with. The ball has bounced, and Canterbury have made it dead.
It hit the upright. It hit the post. You can't get a better kick. Jeff Tuvey and Matt Parrish, the assistant coach, quite animated up there. Kick from Daly Cherry Evans, and I'm sure this hits the right upright. And that fooled them all, but the Bulldogs got there in time.
Stay behind the line!
From Manly.
Make sure you kick it before the line, Chris.
Another chance.
18 tackles they've had inside the Bulldogs 20 and come up with no points. It's very unlike Manly.
Inu's kick rolling away down to Darcy Lussick. It's come on for Manly in recent time. So too is this fellow, Joe Nullivar. 30 metres out from the line, centre of the ground. And Ballon goes to Brett Stewart. It's come to Cherry Evans, down to Jamie Buehrer. A wonderful pass out to Faray, and Faray pulled down by Wright. Buehrer at running half, and then Cherry Evans, and now Nullivar running at Graham and Tolman. They put him down, and Ennis has come off the field as well for Canterbury. Now they attack Manly with Foran to Williams, away to Stewart. They've got the overlap, and George Tafua looks to have scored in the corner. It's going upstairs for examination.
Well, the pass to Tafua at the end was a difficult one for him to take. He did a great job to gather it in as Michael Ennis leaves the field, feeling he'll be back. This is the last pass, was out in front. Tafua grabs it. Ben Barber comes across, but Tafua scores. Quick hands from his inside. It was catch, pass, catch, pass, catch, pass. And they finally found some joy after a number of opportunities at this end of the field.
He did really well there, really well.
6-4 now. Welcome to our networks, taking a telecast. Whatever you might be, Bulldogs 6-4 at the moment. Well, here's this young man who just made an 80-metre run about 5 minutes ago. He sprinted away, and he's now gone in to finish off a try like a really classic winger should. And there's Jamie Lyon limping gingerly back in the dressing suite. It's Cherry Evans comes from the sideline from 25 out, and it's away. Cherry Evans unsuccessful. Darren Lockyer is on sideline duty as well tonight.
And this is what Tony Williams has been trying to do all night, stand in the tackle and get it offload away. This time he does, and on the Keno replay, you see Tafua score in the corner. It was a very good play there by Ben Barber. He nearly got him out, but in the end, Manly, the pressure told, and they score in the corner. Joey's going to go and get an injury update on Jamie Lyon and Michael Innes.
Darren Lockyer on the sidelines with Andrew Johns tonight. And here's the kick going down to Brett Stewart. And Darcy Russell brings it back. He's bound for Parramatta next year. McIntyre system, the opening night of our semi-finals and finals. This is 1 versus 4. Canterbury 1, Manly 4. And the loser gets another chance. Williams, he stampedes over the top. He's gone over the halfway. He sprints away, gets it to Brett Stewart, and Barber's after Stewart, but Stewart beats him to it. And Stewart scores under the post at the southern end.
It is Eagle Rock, 2 tries in as many minutes. And Tony Williams, he had a little bit more of a run-up start on this occasion, but just brute strength, busts his way through the defensive line, going low on him. And then he showed good speed and good awareness to know where his support player was, and no surprise, Brett Stewart up the middle of the field supporting under the posts. That's part of the package.
Comes with its lumps and its bumps, but it's part of the Williams package. .500 points coming into this game from 125 tries. Well, there he is, the man they call the Snake, Brett Stewart, the New South Wales Origin fullback. He came into the game tonight on the back of 156 games with 500 points from 125 tries. And Cherry Evans from right in front of the sticks sends Manly away to the lead. Andrew Johns back from the sheds, back with an injury report.
I'll go through the try first, Rabs. And Tony Williams, this is why you want him running onto the ball, but running straight, challenging the hole there in the Kuno replay. Look at him in between them, just so damaging. And he looks left, and then he knows, but coming down the middle is Brett Stewart, the best finisher in the game. Once the head goes back, the afterburners go on. He's so hard to stop. An injury report, Jamie Lyon, it's a calf injury, he's gone for the game. And Michael Innes, it's a rib injury. He's being monitored, he could be back.
Darcy Lassick bringing it back for Manly.
They're hard to win premierships, aren't they? And you know, Manly running into some form, and all of a sudden over the last couple of weeks they lose David Williams for the season and now Jamie Lyon. And I think he'll be very hard-pressed to come back now, regardless of how far they advance. That's virtually their right-hand side attack gone, and that's been their most potent all year. That's a real blow for them, regardless of the result tonight.
So Nullavow plays it back, and Cherry Evans puts a low kick in, and Barber runs across the ground quickly, takes it with urgency, brings it back down the western side of the ground. Imagine Williams in this Canterbury pack next year. Like playing against the land of the Giants. Pritchard, Cassiano and Williams. This is Cassiano.
Well, Dean Hallertau and Martin Tapau were both named as 1920th men. Fitting them all in is going to be a pleasant headache for Des Hasler as fourth tackler come left to Cassiano.
He goes back and he cuts out one, keeping Barber Morris, then to right. And Jonathan Wright runs a circle. Back to the middle of the ground. Comes to Joe Nullavow. Joe makes the tackle. Right in the middle of the ground. 30 metres out, but this is the last for Canterbury. Reynolds puts it down to Stewart. And he's in the field of play. So that's been a marvellous take by Brett Stewart.
He did so well there. Inu tried to put him off by looping well before the ball came down, but Stewart kept his eyes on it and stood his ground really firm.
Manly then trying to ruck it away from inside their 20 with Matua. In fact, Tafua, I should say.
He's been a real find, young George Tafua. I spoke about how they've kept the nucleus of their grand final team together as the penalty goes to the Seagulls.
You've got the penalty, now walk that way. Let's go.
There are two players missing from that squad with the wingers, Michael Robertson and William Hopoate. George Tafua, he's been very, very good.
Second qualifying final tomorrow night. Storm versus Rabbitohs at Amy Park, Melbourne, live at 5:30 tomorrow on 9. First elimination final, Cowboys versus Broncos, Dairy Farmers at Townsville, live following the Storm versus the Rabbitohs. And then on Sunday we go to Canberra for the other elimination final, Raiders and Sharks. And our special guest will be Mal Meninga at Canberra with a live telecast at 3:30 from down there. Lussick got it away. Cherry Evans gives it on. Nullavow with the ball. And they're 10 metres out from the uprights. And 10-6 in favour of the Premier. And here is Glenn Stewart to his brother Brett. Steps off his left foot and comes back and basically says who wants it. Cherry Evans bats it away. It's on the ground. Beera's got the ball. Play on. It was all knocked backwards. Loses the ball. Tried just that little bit too hard. We're worried too much about it. They're playing superbly now. Here's Watmo. And Watmo goes across and links up with Foran, but Foran is taken by Inu, up and in.
Big minute and a half here for the Bulldogs.
sick again. Put down on the 20-metre line. Manly starting hot favourites to win this game. And here is Foran getting it to Brett Stewart. He beat in early. He gave it to Sam Perrott. Anything wrong with that? He's in the wrong jumper. Now it's away for Graham.
Well, Stewart thought when he came out of that tackle from Reynolds that there must have been an overlap, and I'm not sure he looked. He just fired it away.
That's a good piece of football by Frank Pritchard. It was. It kept it alive. Played by Josh Morris. Keating. Taken by Ballum and Vera. We play it back to David Stagg. No Michael Ennis. So no recognised dummy half. And no Jamie Lyon. Calf injury one, rib injury the other. As Reynolds puts a kick in. The bounce is favourable, but it's been taken by Tafua. And George Tafua. What a half he's having. He's tackled short of halfway. Watner. Nullava. Right on the halfway now. Coming up towards half-time. Billy Evans gets it away. It's catch and pass. Then Farre puts a kick into the middle. It's taken there by Sam Perrott. He'll be tackled. That will be half-time. Manly leading at half-time. The Premiers over the minor Premiers by 10 points to 6. And Pritchard was flying through. Ennis then for Josh Reynolds, and Reynolds evasive, and then he shows it and he gives the ball, and Perrott dances his way towards the line. Ennis again. Now it's out to Corey Payne. Payne is able to swivel away. And Corey Payne made to play the ball a couple of metres out from the line. Ennis there. Oh, Graham is knocked on. I guess if you're going to knock on, it's probably as good a time to do it as any at the back end of the tackle count, but maybe not 5 metres out from the line.
Yeah, one of your front rowers on tackle 5 is probably not the man you want. Here's Reynolds bouncing across field, and Perrott with a left foot step nearly surges towards the line there. Both sides have been pulled down inches short a number of times, and that's a bad ball on tackle 5 for Graham. Probably not one of your halves taking control there.
Well, you can expect these Manly runners now to be looking for Michael Ennis at every opportunity when they're running this ball out. He might get away with doing the dummy half work, but they'll be looking for him when they're aiming their targets or aiming their weapons at him.
Kieran Foran has left Kristen Inu in his wake. He's just making his way back to the defensive line now. Lovely charge from Foran again.
Nullava was tackled by Ennis, and here's Glenn Stewart trying to fend his way through.
He looks all right, Michael Ennis. I've just been watching him move, and he doesn't seem to have much discomfort there at all.
Kicked through by Cherry Evans, fielded by Barber, and they shake him up in defence with Farre, the tackler. Josh Morris, dummy half. Jonathan Wright takes it into the middle of the ruck.
Joe Nullava limping from the field. Jason King, the co-captain, back on after just 4 minutes of the second half.
Sam Perrott, the number 2. James Graham, the 14, and what a good player he is. Here's Corey Payne with his hand up and saying, come on, give me the ball. And he spins away from a tackle from Tony Williams. We play it in the middle of the ground. Ennis going left side for Keating. And Chris puts a kick down nicely into the corner. And Brett Stewart has got the ball. He's got back into the field of play, doing the right thing. Surrender tackle. Here's Matai. And Matai is taken by Graham. Played then to Farre. And it's now with Tafua. Out to the 20-metre line. Had a wonderful first 40 minutes. George Tafua. Oh, Jason King loses the ball. And that's going to be another scrum.
Leave him, James.
Loose head and feet for Canterbury. 28 metres out.
Jason, let him go now so he can stand up.
23 uses for 14 completions. Manly. 21 uses for 14 completions, the Bulldogs. Time in possession, 54% of the time is with Manly.
Yeah, the ball control from both sides leaves a lot to be desired, although it's been physical. They are giving it to each other. Look at Watmo and Reynolds here. They're still at each other, chomping away. He looks all right, Michael Ennis. Been watching him in the back play, and he was very prominent on that kick chase. He's not saving himself at all, so mentally he's over the problem.
So the blue and white flags flying because they know they got a chance here. Keating away to Barber. Barber floats the ball away. It's with Wright, and he comes circling back towards the middle of the ground. And he'll play the ball 10 metres out.
It's in a runaround jet from Michael Ennis. See what coming up short is Cassiano.
So close to the line. Have a look at it. Centimetre. Graham dumbing him, and he gives it to Reynolds. Back again to Barber. Barber steps and then in and away. And here's Inu. Almost tunnel ball from him. Now it's gone to Reynolds, and Reynolds very close to the line.
Well, it was a tunnel ball dummy. I've never seen one before.
So Ennis taken to ground by William. A metre out from the line. Reynolds passes to Eastwood, then to Keating, and Keating floats it out to Pritchard. It's gone to Wright. He looked to pass it back into Morris, found Barber, went to Keating. Keating puts a kick in. It's going to hit the uprights. And no, he scored! He scored! Chris Keating has done it himself. Didn't need the uprights. Puts the little kick in, and Chris Keating has scored.
Well, it hasn't been awarded, but it certainly looks that way, and it was heady play.
Chrisman Inu will put the Dogs out to a 12-10 lead in the early part of the second half. That he does, Andrew John sideline.
Stewart, you'll see here what happens to Brett Stewart. He's in cover as the ball goes all the way to the left. You see him there underneath the sticks on the Kuno replay. He goes to the threat, the long ball there from Keating. He sprints across to the threat to Jonathan Wright. Then the ball weaves its way back. That's why he's out of position. And have a look at this to desire. A great kick here. And two blokes who know each other's game. Blokes played Cabramatta Juniors together, Tony Williams and Chris Keating. This time Chris Keating pulls his pants down and gets some money.
James Graham bringing it back. Just listening to Andrew talking there reminds me that his boy Samuel's in John Hunter Hospital after having the appendix taken out this morning. And he'll be there for a week or so. And it's his 13th birthday on Sunday. So Samuel, we're thinking of you, son. And a knock on there by Chrisman Inu, who wasn't thinking about you.
Drag it forward into your hip.
You'll be okay, kid. Many of us have had that appendix out. So this scrum will throw the scales back towards Manly.
And both sides tonight guilty of errors in their own territory. Manly have been their own worst enemy early in this second half, and now after scoring points, the pass behind Inu goes to ground.
Blind in, Michael. Arms around Chris.
It's a look of,
Stay down, Josh.
I don't know, anger, dismay, depression. Manly with the ball, working it to Tafua again, and Tafua is tackled. 5 metres out from the line, Foran goes away to King, and King on to Watmo. Watmo then jinks and comes back and dances and says, who wants me? And he is able to beat Eastwood. He'll play the ball 8 metres out from the line. He'll play it back to Ballon. King runs a decoy, Foran turns it in for Tony Williams. Williams is 5 metres out from the line. Playing it again to Ballon, and then to Cherry Evans, and then Glenn Stewart, and he hits Burer on the chest with it. And it's come away with Eastwood for Canterbury.
And there's the disjointed nature of that right-hand attack, which has been their mainstay all year. Glenn Stewart, Jamie Lyon. Here's a big error by the Bulldogs coming out of trouble. Yet another forward pass.
Michael.
Just reminding you of that second qualifying final at Melbourne tomorrow night. That will be on air live on 9 at 5:30 tomorrow. News at 5, and Storm versus Rabbitohs at 5:30, followed by Cowboys and Broncos from dairy farmers immediately following the match out of Melbourne.
I know the Bulldogs are winning the football game at the moment. Who do you think's in front in the debate? It's like parliamentary question time out there every time we get a stoppage.
Glenn Stewart at the back, and he passes to Foran, and Foran got through the front line. He'll play the ball 9 metres away from the line. Played back to Brett Stewart. There's Tony Williams. Tony Williams! Oh dear. He's so close to the line, this big man. And it's a penalty going to Manly.
No, he wasn't holding. No, it's too slow, mate. There's a couple
All right, Sea Eagles,
too.
it's wide out. I'd imagine they're going to take the tap here. Daly Cherry Evans has turned his back on it, so I doubt there'll be a kick of goal. He seems to be a little sore here, Tony Williams. He hasn't bounced back to his feet at all. Let's have a look here and see what happens. In he goes. Oh, yeah, hyperextended. Hyperextended on the knee. So here we go.
It's Matai passing to King, and King he stands in the tackle. He's got the arm free, but they put him down. Close to the line. Back for Ballin. Ballin on to Cherry Evans. He showed it. He rifled the pass out to Brett Stewart. Great defence by Josh Morris. Played on the 20-metre line. Here's Bureau to the 10. Graham and Ennis defended. Ballin, Foran, Williams gets it underneath and away to Stewart onto Matai. Matai's got Tafur with him. He's also got a Canterbury defender with him now. 15 metres out from the line. George Tafur dummy half. Tony Williams running it back on the angle behind to play the ball. 5 metres out from the line. It's going to cross to Cherry Evans. He kicks, and Barber was in a beautiful position to take it, even allowing for the upright. And he's tackled 5 metres back into the field of play. Gets up smiling at Glenn Stewart. Eastwood, meantime, brings it out, and Stewart puts his weight into the tackle with Watmough. 12-10 in favour of the Bulldogs. Eastwood is having trouble getting up to play it. And you can hear the referee saying to Clarkey, have a look at this for me, please.
You need to be quicker on the rucks.
Gee, they've given it to each other, these two sides. This has been a real old-fashioned semi-final type. I think his legs sort of got spread-eagled there.
It'll be the second tackle. Just wait till I get
There's nothing wrong really with all of that.
Hayden Tolman went out for Bulldogs while that was happening. Vic Morrow has come to the sideline for his first stint tonight.
Graham just inside the 20-metre line. It's gone back to Tolman, and Tolman takes it straight up the middle, but he's met by Ballin and King, and here's Eastwood, and Eastwood able to get a short ball away to Jackson. Jackson gets it over the top to Inu. Inu's got Foran with him, and Matai comes in from behind. Playing on the halfway line, 5 tackles gone for the Bulldogs. And Keating puts a kick in. It's a torpedo punt. It's going down. And Stewart looks at it and gives it immediately to Farah. Runs at Ennis, and Ennis meets him and puts him away with the help of Tolman. And that's come from Stewart and gone back to Fua.
Hasn't been a better player in the field tonight than young George Tafur. Outstanding, the winger.
Yeah. Ennis and Jackson getting the defence done. Here's Watmough going short to Lussick, or Morrow it is, in 17. Right on the halfway line. And Ballin thinks he's got the markers divided. In fact, I think he did. But it was called 5 tackles gone. The kick has gone straight to the chest of Perrott. And Sam goes running across. He links up with Barber. Barber gets the ball away. It's gone on to Josh Morris out on the left wing this time. He's gone past Foran. He's gone inside the 40. He's got Stewart with it. He got into Barber. Barber's on his way. Barber scores. Another try for Canterbury from inside their own 20-metre line.
And brilliant play all around from the Bulldogs. The kick wasn't a good one from Daly Cherry Evans, and the Dogs couldn't get to the other side of the field to that man Ben Barber, and also to where Jamie Buer is defending. They know they've got the speed advantage. Barber tells him to come across, takes the pass, and then it's a simple 3-on-2 overlap. And Josh Morris on the outside of Jason King. Valiant dive by the front rower. Ben Barber was getting interfered with by Jamie Buer, but he got away from him. Josh Morris did a great job. Got on the outside of Brett Stewart, but got the ball back on the inside. End-to-end stuff from the Dogs.
Almost on the touchline. Infectious smile of Christian Inouye. Hits it. It's on its way and it's hooked around. No goal.
And the Dally M Player of the Year gets another try.
Canterbury responding to the restart with Tolman 15 away from their own line. They've got this lead now, this precarious lead of 16 to 10. Graham just outside the 30-metre point, and here's Pritchard running from a blindside position, and he's run back to the open, and he's knocked on. I tell you what, plenty of the big men have got butterfingers tonight.
Well, the completion rates are awful from both sides. In fact, identical, 17 from 27. So 10 times each side has turned the ball over, and a lot of it coming out of their own end of the field. That was what everyone came to see, that try, wasn't it? Benny Barber. You could hear the kids squealing, screaming.
Now, you won't believe how far Parrish goes to silence his enemies. The most heart-wrenching episode so far. It's a good show. New Underbelly Badness, Monday 8:30 on 9. And that's Anthony Parrish we're talking about.
Forward, had his head jolted back by a Reynolds tackle. 6-on-6.
That was beautiful. Get that in there. He absolutely nailed him there.
Ballon to Watmore.
Geez, improved Josh Reynolds. Some of his defence earlier in the year was a little dusty, but as the year's gone on, he's really put his body into his work.
Here's Foran again. He throws the dummy and decides to sprint, but they close the gap. Jackson and Eastwood. Now Morrow and Cherry Evans, Glenn Stewart running it back into Tolman. 5 tackles for Manly. And here's Foran, he's chipping across, it's going to go into touch and goal.
Well, you know, the Manly set of 6 before the Barber try was really poor.
Just a reminder, that match tomorrow night from Melbourne, South Sydney. And Melbourne at 5:30 live. With the news at 5 o'clock. And then we'll take you up to Townsville immediately following the Melbourne game. And then on Sunday we'll travel up to Canberra. As the ball goes to Graham and Graham goes to Keating. And Keating is put down by Glenn Stewart just inside the 30-metre line. Played for Ennis, the kick is coming for Reynolds, and Reynolds goes high into the middle of the ground, and it's Tafua who puts it down, and they're grasped in goal, I think, or knock-on is the rule. Knock-on is called.
Yeah, and this would have been in the Bulldogs game plan to test Tafua, and they'd say kick it to him once, kick it to him twice, keep doing it, because sooner or later there's the chance of the fumble. The young fellow is having a stormer game, but this can be his Achilles heel. And he didn't really get himself in a position to grab that at all. So the Bulldogs get a reward out of remembering some of the game plan.
Well, I apologise to the young man. Giving him the rap. Should have waited. A little bit of a shake of the head there. And a huge set defensively now for Manly.
Manly are very short on the left here from the scrum. They've got 2-on-1 here to the right if they want to go that way, the Bulldogs.
And they are. And here is Inu, and Inu is home, and he's able to get the ball away, and it's come down to Reynolds, and Reynolds has a ring of defence around him, including Morrow and Ballon. Josh Reynolds, who put that enormous hit on Foran just earlier on, Now Eastwood. Greg Eastwood playing it 8 metres out from the uprights. And here is Graham, and he goes on to Keating, and Keating goes back to Barber. Barber. He's over again. He throws the ball into the crowd at the southern end.
Daly Cherry Evans, well, he's taken out by Frank Pritchard. A decision will need to be made as to whether Daly Cherry Evans could have closed that hole.
The only thing there, Daly Cherry Evans turned outwards just before the ball was passed. Now, I don't think he's going to get to Barber, but they won't like the fact that the decoy runner has hit Cherry Evans, who had no interest in the decoy runner. I don't think Cherry Evans would have caught Benny Barber in a fit.
But that's the hole that he went through, Ben Barber. He would have had enough speed, you think, to get on the outside, but Cherry Evans denied any opportunity to close that hole by the contact. And the onus is on the decoy man to avoid a collision, to avoid contact.
He's supposed to run through the defensive line, not run at the defensive line, if I can put it that simply. That part of the obstruction thing, and Gus might be right, Cherry Evans mightn't have had a hope in the world, but the fact is it's not like running around behind your own man. We're talking about two different things here. A decoy providing a hole that you can work on. Here's King. Gee, I tell you what, it's a big call. 15-10. It was probably ball game.
Well, they got to lift Manly. Here we've got some more brouhaha in the background. Look at this, they're all dancing, and now they'll all come in. This happened in the first half when Manly was 6 down. And it's happening again.
Anthony Watmoe and James Graham are two of the protagonists. The other one, I think, is Jason King.
Oh, Michael Ennis is in there too. And Watmoe's there too.
Walk away. Anthony, walk away. Michael, come on. Boys can't take one. Jason, honestly, no. How many times, mate? Relax. How many times? He's got to sit down, mate. Are you going to relax? Take your side back there. Run again, son. Let's go. Run again, son. Take your side over there. I was helping you out, son. Run again, son.
Let's have a look. He's a little bit said there. He's had a little bit of a growl in his ear.
I've got to tackle two.
He's got up and walked after him.
Let's talk to him. Because it hasn't been 4 times. Play the ball, tackle 2.
Right, decided.
Play the ball, tackle 2. But again, this is what happened in the first half. Manly were down by 6. Suddenly we had a few of them little brouhahas, and then Manly got the better of them. So
this is Morrow playing it on the halfway line. Out to Foran, on to Williams, out to Stewart. And
just making it up as they go along at the moment.
Morrow running at Pritchard. Put down by Pritchard and Graham. Now it's back to Brent Kite, and he goes deepish back to Foran, and then to Brent Stewart, who might have had the ball knocked down, and it's come down to Reynolds. And Reynolds then sort of said, well, who's going to come and get me?
Well, that's what frustration does. See, look, it's not happening for them. And that's about the 3rd time tonight Stewart's thrown the panic pass, trying to create something out of nothing.
Finucane is out there now for Canterbury. Here's Keating, now Pritchard. He's getting more and more involved as this game goes on. Frank Pritchard. He can use his structure in the attack, no doubt about that, because this kid has worked his backside off. Tolman. And here's the shot. Barber sets himself, snaps it, and just off the line.
Too much time.
And Chris Meninu. Now this is Darcy Lussick to the halfway line. 16-10. 3 tries to Canterbury. They trailed 10-6 at the break, and there's Josh Reynolds trying to shoulder charge. And Kieran Foran almost made him pay. Here is Ballon. Now William. And Williams taken by Tolman. So the last tackle for Manly. Cherry Evans gets it back for Brent Kite. Now to Ballon, now to Williams, now to Stewart, now to Maddai. Maddai bounces away from one. And who do you think stops him? Tolman again.
Unbelievable.
Tolman's performance in the last couple of minutes has been superhuman.
Well, he's made 33 tackles tonight, Tolman. And none more important than this one. Saving tries is more important than scoring them. And a front rower, 33 tackles, 15 hit-ups, comes up with the try saver of the night.
Pritchard getting some attention in back play. Nothing serious, I'm sure. Keating goes to Josh Morris, who beats Cherry Evans, and he's made a good, very good run. 15 metres for Josh Morris, actually going backwards. Now Tolman, they hit him with everything they've got. But they're not slowing him down. He's been outstanding tonight.
He'll be back for more, and so will this man.
Graham, 5 and last for Canterbury. And we're down inside the last 5 minutes. Graham.
Time off. 5th tackle.
Graham on 5. On, as I said earlier, about Ben Barber, one of the big stages of rugby league. And Aidan Tolman has celebrated big time.
I think Glenn Stewart just coming over the top there. Contacted the elbow to the back of the head. It was accidental. James might not think so.
5:30 that match tomorrow. Reminding you again, live, Souths versus Melbourne. And there's the kick rolled down the ground by Keating. And Brett Stewart down in the corner goes back and is tackled by Josh Morris. 15 out from the Manly line. They're looking now at 3.5 minutes to go. And Manly now looking for a miracle. And here's Bureau coming out to the 30-metre line.
We've seen plenty of miracles this year. I just keep looking along this Manly line to see who's going to be the one. And they can't sort it out. They can't get themselves energised.
Now it's with Brent Kite. Cherry Evans then kicking. It'll go out on the full, I think. Yep. Yes, it is.
Trying for too much.
It could be domino.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go. The pressure of this Bulldog side in the second half has been outstanding. Their forwards have been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Pressure on, and no matter how far you lean to the left after you've kicked it, it's not going to stop its trajectory, and it was always heading out. The forwards here at the Bulldogs prior to the game, they huddled up prior to the game, and it was a real old-fashioned dogs of war type preparation. They've been terrific tonight, the Bulldogs forwards.
This is Finucane. Just fill me in. If Manly are beaten, and it's looking as though they're going to be beaten, 2.5 minutes to go, they go back to play the winner of which match?
Of the Cowboys and the Broncos.
Thank you. Here's Cassiano with the ball.
Powering forward. Surely they'll take the point now.
Is 7 metres out. Now it's with Graham. He's a couple of metres out from the line.
Inu has moved in again.
So it's gone back to Reynolds. Barber wants it out wide. It's gone out to him now. And here's Barber, right foot, right foot. Then he gives it back into the middle to Keating, who gives the ball to Inu, who's shaped to take a kick. Then he did a bit of a dance and he's gone down, tackled a couple of metres out from the line. Played for Michael Ennis. Here's another shot coming up. It's gone across to Jackson. Jackson to Barber. Barber puts a kick in. Steve Maddai takes the ball. Maddai's on his way up the field, but he's been run down quickly by Jackson. A bad chase really by Jackson.
1:30 left on the clock. It's not over yet. The Bulldogs have got to survive 4 more tackles.
Played on the 40-metre line by Lussick, and here's Ballon working with Glenn Stewart and tries to cut through. He's put down by Cassiano. Now they're to the halfway line with Foreman getting the ball back to Williams. Williams held around the ankles by Reynolds, and Ballon has the ball knocked down. It's a penalty to Manly.
Wow.
A penalty to Manly. Manly, the front marker, got himself offside.
Well, he reached around and knocked the ball down there. That was it was a silly play. 48 seconds left. Last set of 6 of the game. Manly needs 6 to lock it up.
Watmore playing the ball just outside the 20, centre of the ground. Brent Kite bumps away from one, runs back into Finucane with the help of Graham. Now Ballon gets it on to Stewart. Stewart gives it to his brother. He passes, and Wright has got the ball for Canterbury. And I would think he has got the game wrapped up as well. There's a Canterbury player injured in the background. It's Pritchard. Wright told to play the ball. Morris runs it away. 5 seconds to go, and the Blue and White Army will count it out. Siren sounds at Rugby League headquarters as Canterbury inflict a 16-10 victory over Manly. 3 tries to 2. Wright, Keating and Barber tries for the Dogs. Length of the field stuff from Wright and from Barber. Brilliant try from Keating, a solo effort. And for the Eagles, Tafua and Brett Stewart scored in the first half to give Manly at half-time a 10-6 lead. Coach Jeff Tuvey, assistant Matt Parrish, disappointed, one word, losing their captain Jamie Lyon early in the game obviously has not helped the situation at all.